All right. What up, crew? Welcome back on the channel. So, first things first, as you may have already seen, the setup for today's video is a little bit different than normal. And this is because I am trying to try to experiment with the different formats, with different video formats, because I'm fairly new to YouTube. And yeah, I don't want to have to necessarily have to do all the pre-production. I mean that I have to do a whole script for a video or or the post production. So all the cuts or all the editing, because that is a lot of work. And not that I don't want to work, but sometimes that can be too much friction for me to make videos. And since there are some topics that can be a little bit more chatty, a little bit more, talked, and not necessarily prepared, I think this can be one option, just one option to make videos, and not always having to have a full script and a full edited video. So that's what's up. But today's topic is a question that I get asked a lot about from beginners and beginner drummers, but not only that, a lot of people that want to maybe the people that move from from their parents to living by themselves, and they need to they live by themselves in an apartment, so they have to kind of find a new situation for that. And so yeah, the question that I get asked a lot about is, what is the best scenario for playing drums at home in an apartment, or in general in places where you're not allowed to make that much noise? And the most common answer to that would be, it generally is it's pretty much always electronic kits. E-kits are very, very popular. And yeah, they are the most common option that is utilized in apartments. And I've had two of them. I've had two electronic kits, and I sold both of them in a fairly short amount of time. And yeah, I don't really like electronic kits. By the way, I take out of the equation of the high-end electronic devices like the TM2 from Roland, the SPDS X, the SPDS X Pro. They are electronic kits or electronic devices, but I don't consider them electronic drum kits. When I talk about electronic drum kits, I more or less mean actual drum sets, actual kits that are utilized as that they're placed like drum sets, and that replicate the drum set in a fairly uh, almost the same way that a drum set would be, you know. But yeah, that's that's not what I really think is the best option. And the reason for that is because generally electronic kits are either very um, far away from what an actual drum kit feels like and sounds like, or on the other spectrum, they're very, very expensive. And the problem with being far away from a drum kit with the cheapest ones is that, again, they don't really feel like drum sets, because yeah, you do have mesh kits, but which are okay, which are the better option between the two of them. But most of the times, the cymbals are very far away from feeling like an actual drum set, and they are also much smaller than what an actual drum kit is like. So you would have the distances that you would put your toms and your cymbals, yeah, the distances that you would have from between the toms and between toms and cymbals, and even the snare, they would just not be what what an actual distance between toms and cymbals and snare, uh, how that would be on an actual drum set. So I've found myself, or actually, I found my students practicing a lot on electronic kits, and every time they step on an actual drum set, they're like, this feels way, way different than what I'm used to. And they start hitting rims. They, they have to basically get used to a drum set again before going home and then having to practice again on an electronic kit that is not as comfortable as not necessarily. Maybe it's more comfortable, but that does not really replicate um, the way a drum set is supposed to be. And on the other hand, as I was saying, you have these very expensive electronic drum sets that the first problem with that is that they're expensive, and that can be a problem by itself. But even if you had that much money to buy these, I don't know, 10K dollars drum sets, electronic drum sets, the problem is that to me they don't feel um, like practicing devices. They can be that, but you generally see these in a situation where you are required to use a drum set in an electronic way. And so or situations where an electronic kit is just better for the musical setting. I've never really seen anyone purchasing these kind of drum sets for practicing, because at that point you just buy an actual drum kit, you put it into one of those boxes where that is soundproof, and yeah, it's basically the same expense, and you're not getting you're not having all that um, yeah, you don't, you're basically having the same situation without all the trouble of not having an actual drum set under your hands and feet. So and yeah, and so and also these type of electronic drum sets that are very high end are also pretty. They don't really feel like electronic kits for beginners or for practicers, because all the modules are extremely hard to use. No, not extremely hard to use, but a lot of times they are extremely high-end modules. So they start feeling like really high-end synthesizers for for keyboards, for keyboard players, and that's not the kind of situation you want. If you're starting playing a keyboard, you don't want all the options with all the knobs and everything. You just want a keyboard that feels like an actual piano or an actual keyboard, but that does not have all the hassle of having to try to find the nice sound out of a million parameters. So they're not really an option for me. What I would suggest for home practicers is, I think that this is the real best option that you can get nowadays, is to get a muted kit, which can be basically any drum set with mesh heads and sound cymbals. Now, this solves the problem of having a drum kit that does not feel like an actual drum set, because silent cymbals and Zildjian makes the L80, Sabian makes the quiet tone, I guess they're called. Meinl has a part of the HCS line that I think are silent cymbals. And a lot of brands make them, and they feel like actual cymbals. I mean, they are actual cymbals, but because of the way they have these small holes all around the cymbal itself, you basically have a lot less noise out of them, a lot less sound actually, and they're perfect for apartments and situations where you're not allowed to make that much noise. And same thing goes with mesh heads. You basically take out existing head on a snare or any drum shell, and you put on these mesh heads, which are great, and they make way less noise. Low volume cymbals are still, you still get the attack and a little bit of wash, but with mesh heads, you really get a lot out of the shell. You almost lose all the note, which can be a problem on one side. But yeah, if you're looking for a very low noise situation, that is the best option. And you're also getting, you're not you're keeping the distances. Again, the sizes of the drums are the sizes of an actual drum kit, because you mount these drum heads on an actual drum sets, and the cymbals are put on normal stands, and they are they're regular sized cymbals. So you're not going to feel that much difference when you uh, step away from a muted drum kit and you go, in a rehearsal space with your band, and uh, playing on an actual kit. So that is the best option. Also, well, one of the advantages, some people might say that one of the advantages of having a smaller kit, of having an electronic kit, is that they don't take up that much space, right? Which, yeah, if you live in an apartment, or if you live in a, oh, you can have a really big apartment, but if you live in a space where you don't have that much room, um, having a smaller instrument can be better, of course. But I think this can be solved with, again, with muted kits, just by buying smaller kits. The best option for this, in my opinion, is probably the Tama Club Jam with the pancake version of the drums, which are really shallow, so you can basically put them anywhere you want. But there's a ton of brands that make all these drum kits, or these smaller drum kits. Sonar makes the Safari kit from the AQ2 line, I think. Then yeah, there's the Ludwig, the breakbeats which is like the signature model from Questlove. Then you have I think Yamaha makes another drum kit like that. I mean, pretty much everyone makes these kind of drum kits. So you can get one of those. They're much smaller. You get mesh heads. You put them on. You can um, decide how much tension you want on the heads, and you're pretty much done. And yeah, of course, silent cymbals. And you're having a full-sized, or almost full-sized drum set that feels like an actual drum set, right? Um, so yeah, I think that is the best way to go. And I hope that helps. And I hope that answers the question once and for all, for me, at least, for what I think is the best scenario. And yeah, uh, so let me know, guys, if you enjoyed this type of content, which is a little bit more immediate, a little bit more real. You have probably seen me, I don't know, stuttering a little bit with my words, in my talking. You also might know that English is not my first language, so I have to make an extra effort for that. But yeah, it's a little bit more immediate for me to make. I have a few notes, but I don't have to write the full script for a video, as I was saying before. And yeah, hope that helps. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.